My name is Nkiru Okafor. I was born in Birmingham. My heritage is Nigerian and Indian. I'm a solicitor.
My name is Emma Hanson. I'm originally from South East London. I still live here, and I'm from Ghana and Togo. I am a qualified medical doctor. I don't do that anymore, and now I have my own art business.
When I was 22, a police car followed me with the sirens on. I pulled over and a police officer got out of the car. He told me that he was pulling me over because I'd been driving whilst using my phone. I said to him, "Must be a mistake." I definitely wasn't using my phone, and he insisted that I had been using my phone, that he'd seen me with my left hand to my left ear, and that I'd been jibber-jabbering away. Thought that he'd genuinely made a mistake. I said to him, "Please, will you just look at my phone records and you'll see that I wasn't on the phone?" And he said, "No, you can change the phone records." And I said, "Well, I can't change the phone records because I didn't know that that's what you're putting me over for." And he said, "No, I've got video footage." I just could not believe what was happening.
When I was 15, I set out one evening to go meet my friends. It was bonfire night and I was going to meet them there. There was a queue for entry into the park, and for some reason the police were there. I remember it was raining that night. It was quite cold, so I made sure I wrapped up. I wore lots of layers. So I was in the queue waiting to get in, and there was a man and a woman police officer, and they were both white. So the man comes over to me and he's like, "Can you step to the side? Just so you know, we're just searching people that look suspicious." And in that instance, I was so confused. I wasn't really sure, first of all, why the police were there, and then secondly, why it concerned me and how I looked any more suspicious than other people that were dressed quite similarly to me. Didn't really ask for any information from me. He didn't ask my name, didn't ask how old I was. Really strange, because kind of knew something was wrong. And after he'd searched me, he'd said I could pick up my things and go. I'd never been stopped and searched before, and I've never been stopped and searched since, but I had heard that it should be by somebody who's the same sex as you. But it had happened, and he had made it seem so normal that I thought maybe I was wrong and maybe I'd heard wrong.
I guess he saw a black girl driving a really beat up old Polo and thought, okay. In the end, I guess the exchange was over, so I got back in my car and I drove away, and I was really upset. And later had to go to the magistrates' courts twice. I was really fortunate because a friend of a friend was a criminal lawyer, and they went with me. And even on the day, because you have to submit all your evidence before the hearing, we submitted our evidence, which was my phone record saying that I hadn't made any calls that day, and the evidence that he had alluded to, i.e. the video footage, didn't exist because they didn't submit any. And in the end, the magistrates were so pleading, so grateful to the police officer, saying, "Thank you so much for giving us your precious time today. We think on this occasion the police officer might have made a mistake, but next time you're driving, don't sing and gesticulate whilst you're driving." And that was the end of it. I think, knowing what I know now, I should have made a complaint. My dad really wanted me to, but I just desperately wanted to move on. So I didn't, and I should have done.
Just all wrapped up in that instance, I felt shame, I felt a bit guilty because of how convinced he was that he had the right to search me. So I was like, clearly I've done something wrong. Also at that particular age, I was getting ready to try and get into medical school, and I knew that you had to have a perfect record. So I just didn't want to tell anybody for a risk that somebody else would spread it around, or I had a lot of shame from the minute it happened, basically up until now.
The UK is such a racist country. Racism is hand sewn into every fibre of every thread in this country.
I do believe the UK is a racist country. I've also come to know how it can be packaged. It's its own breed of Western racism, and I think it often hides behind Britishisms and professionalism. in the way that I've experienced it most recently in my 20s. Having worked in the NHS and having worked in big corporations, it comes at you in very different but also very familiar ways.